Greetings. Welcome back to another episode of the Death, Taxes, and Sports podcast. Here with my exciting team, Ben Holloway, Gary Johnson, and we also have a new guest here. Sir, would you like to introduce yourself to the floor?
What? Absolutely. What is going on? I appreciate everybody having me. Love the show. Appreciate me having on. I'm AK from the Millie Goats. We do a lot of DraftKings talk, more satire DraftKings. A lot of people focus on the winning aspect. There's a lot of people that lose those contests, and we want to laugh at ourselves for that. So we're the, I guess you would call us the reception after the wedding podcast for DraftKings and DFS. So.
Awesome. Love it. Again, sir, appreciate you coming on. It's great. We like to have a good group of four here. But first, who is your football team? We just got to ask.
I'm a North Carolina guy, but I'm a 49ers fan. I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan.
Right on.
Yeah. There's a history there.
Okay. All right. How you feeling about Purdy?
Oh, I love it. He was great at Iowa State.
You're talking about your boy Brock Purdy.
He's phenomenal. He's a guy that was at Iowa State. He came into Iowa State. Iowa State was irrelevant. Sorry for Iowa State fans. Became the 4-year starter. They were a top 15, top 10 program. He leaves. They're back in the dumpster. That's a dude who knows how to win. Comes into the NFL, torches it, set a bunch of rookie records, beat Tom Brady, the only rookie starter to do so in his first start. Had the horrific elbow injury, which was horrible to watch for the NFC Championship as a Niners fan. But he is a very good quarterback. He's not the guy you're going to build on Madden, but he's a leader. He's accurate. He makes good decisions, and that's what Kyle Shanahan needs. So.
Okay. All right. Well, he's going to be really interesting to see this season just due to the very small sample size, but I love me an underdog story, so I'm most certainly rooting for him. But so, again, thanks for joining. So we're getting closer, folks. We're at episode 98. We are 2 episodes away from magical episode 100. Can't believe we're almost there. But tonight we're going to be discussing the results of the NBA fan polls. Very interesting. There's definitely I have some thoughts about that, but it is what it is. So top 5 defenses in the NFL, top 5 offenses in the NFL, and as well as the best defensive player and much more. We already know who the best defensive player is, Gary, so I'm not even going to need to say it. I'm not going to need to go there. We already know where that one is going. So let's first talk about the results of the NBA poll and discuss some baseball polling. Mr. Ben Holloway, take it away, sir.
Oh, we lost you. Oh,
I said, take it away. So, yeah,
Okay.
My internet's acting a little bit up here, but hey, it is what it is. We'll make it happen. But take away with the results of the NBA poll.
Sure. So the finals for best NBA team to not win ended up being 73-9 Warriors, 15-16 versus the 94-95 Magic, which was prime Penny Hardaway, prime Shaq. And I think it was actually a little bit closer than I thought. I kind of expected like 65 or 70% Warriors, but it ended up being 57-43. And we actually got our highest votes out of all the rounds in the finals. Almost 200 votes, got 175 votes. So I was impressed with the volume and the number of votes. And again, the gap was a little bit closer than I thought. As far as the end result, I'm not surprised. If you asked me a week ago, pick the best NBA team to not win, would have been the team with the most regular season wins that came 1 win away from winning the whole thing. So as far as the end result, I'm not too surprised. It was a lot of fun. And but yeah, go ahead. Anyone else want to chime in?
Yeah, first, I'm sure Gina for repping DeBay is pretty excited about that for obvious reasons. I mean, if you look at the name DeBay, but hey, it's all good. Shout out Gina. I mean, based on record, I guess, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with it, but I just think it's more than just about wins for me when it comes to this poll. I think it's also just the overall roster, the conference that they played in, the level of competition. But again, I mean, they had the most regular season wins, so I'm not going to complain about it. But I just didn't think they were the best team. That's all I'm saying. But Gary,
I mean, that team, as I said before, had they made the playoffs or had they won the championship, they wouldn't even be in this conversation. They would be definitively the greatest team of all time. They are the biggest what if in the history of sports. Their loss in the finals prompted them to basically screw the system and add Kevin Durant and break basketball for 3 years. Like it was as big of a domino falling or as directly responsible for a seismic shift in the NBA in decades. So for that, like they, again, had they won, maybe Kevin Durant's never a Warrior. Maybe he stays in Oklahoma City. Maybe, we don't know what would have happened had the Warriors won a championship. The Magic, you could say what if, but there's a part of me, if you've seen the 30 for 30 This Magic Moment, you could tell there was a point where Shaq wasn't going to stay in Orlando. That was not going to last forever. He was meant for Hollywood. He was meant for the big city. Penny Hardaway was a good second fiddle to him, but he isn't Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's enough there that you can go, okay, but that was 1 year of success. Michael was coming. And you already eliminated him. And as we know with him, he takes things personally. So we aren't going to sit here and say, oh, they're going to go ahead and win championships and go over Chicago year after year. That wasn't going to happen. The Warriors were primed to completely take over basketball, and they choked on the biggest stage to a team that, frankly, as much as I like Cleveland, as much as I love LeBron, that team was less than. I was okay. Like, yes, they were finally healthy. They finally had their big three together, but I still would have taken the Warriors over the Cavs in those finals. And frankly, had Draymond Green not gotten hurt or got suspended, who knows exactly how this all could have happened. Like, that team was so directly responsible for the paradigm shift in the NBA after that. So them being the best or being the best to never won makes sense.
All good stuff. AK.
Oh man, I voted on that, and I voted for the Magic, just because I was a big Shaq fan. That's how all my fandom came about, and the reason I did is because the starter jacket, the Orlando Magic starter jacket, was the hottest thing in sports. I'm telling you right now, that old NBA starter jacket.
Facts.
I was like,
facts.
that thing took me back.
Them and the Hornets, right there.
Oh my gosh, man!
Yep.
I mean, I followed up
and the Bulls
that
and the Bulls.
Dude, you want to top? Should we power rank starter jackets right now? I mean, we could. That's a poll. But that's. I mean,
Ben, let's put a poll out there. I think we should do a poll. Honestly, I think that should be a poll. I really do.
What was the hottest starter jacket? But that's. I mean, that's what I think of.
Jacket? All right, Ben.
Oh, he was so much fun to watch. Shaq was just different, man. He was so much fun to watch. So I put him up there. Like, there were certain sports icons that I loved watching. Jerry Rice was one of them. Hence why I'm a Niners fan, right? Shaq was one of them, and King Griffey Jr., and then my hockey team, Mike Richter. Like, but Shaq was just, I wanted to see him win in Orlando so bad, just to maybe that he would stay.
Yeah, I mean those are all facts though. But those starter jackets, man. I mean, like, I wanted to get an Orlando one. It's like 95. Yeah, those were good times, man. That Bulls one too. I kept that Bulls one, so I was like 13, 14 years old. I didn't care. Those things were hot. But
do
Ben,
still make them?
let's get into some baseball for the baseball fantasy poll here.
Yeah. So next up is going to be.
They probably do. I'm sure you could probably get a throwback one.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the baseball polls next. We already picked the eight teams. Only team will, I will say this: the 2001 Mariners, who tied the record for the most wins, is one of the 8 teams, but we're going to keep the rest of it a surprise. But it's going to be the same. We will announce the winner next Tuesday. Plan is to do the 4 matchups Wednesday, Thursday. Then we'll have the semis Friday, Saturday, finals Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's the plan.
Okay. So, but one team that's not going to be on there, I'm saying this now, is those damn cheating Astros. They're not going to be on there. They're not. So, to all the fans out there, to everyone out there down in Houston, H-Town is a great city, but they are not. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, Gary, I'm sorry, it's my little gripe here. They cheated. They still are cheaters, and they do not deserve to be recognized. They're done. Let's move forward. That's all I had to say. That's my rant. Anyway, let's get to some conference.
Just like the
alignment,
120 years of baseball that's known for cheating. Yeah, sure. The Astros are the only ones that ever cheated. Sure. Yeah.
I don't care. I'm still feeling salty about that. I can't be in my feelings, Ben. Am I not allowed
No,
to be
you
in my
can't.
feelings?
You're allowed to, as Yankees fans that have only won rings.
Okay.
In
I mean the
2004.
level of disrespect, Ben. The level of disrespect. You know, all I try to do.
We're not even at that level,
sir.
But shots fired. Shots fired. Okay, I'm kidding. But anyway, talk about some madness, man. AK, this conference realignment mess. You know, I tell people like sports is all about evolution. You think about the Big East basketball, right back all the way to 2009, right? Like they were the dominant force in basketball. Now they're no more. The Pac-12 was a 108-year league. No more. This conference realignment, I am not against it, but it just needs to not be rushed. And it felt like it's rushed. And I think the quality of at least college football, I don't know how I feel about it. But what are your thoughts?
Let me start by saying this. If you don't think that this group of people, whoever's realigning all this nonsense, doesn't have the big board on their office of a 5-year plan and where they want to be, you are out of your mind. There is somewhere where this is going. I don't know where it's going. It's probably to this just nebulous kind of everybody plays everybody, no conferences. But I think, and if they're not careful, they're going to be on the verge of what happened to the PGA. I'm telling you that right now, because that's a real possibility. I truly believe. But I think they are trying to get back to a very similar setup as the BCS. I think it's coming full circle, honestly. They had the BCS, then they went to the 4-team college playoff, right? Everybody's like, yes, college playoff. Then they're like, we're going to expand it because, you know, there's only 4 spots in 5 conferences. Oh, no, that's great. Okay. Then Texas and Oklahoma decide to jump ship. Boom. Okay, well, that's weird. Why would they do that? Then the other teams start to move. Then the Pac-12's dead. Then the college football committee comes out and says, whoa, there's too much turmoil. We can't expand the playoff. And then they're like, we're gonna do this ourselves. We're gonna set up a committee where we vote on who gets in other than the top 4 teams. And I'm like, here we are back to the human version of the BCS. That's exactly what has happened thus far. Like, I think it's terrible. I think the conferences need to matter for something. They keep dancing around objective data so that they can put their subjective stuff in there. I don't like it.
Facts. Hey, facts, Ben.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, you know, the Pac-12 with all the realignments, the 4 teams left standing at the moment are University of California, Stanford, Oregon State, and Washington. Stanford and Cal are already in talks to go to the ACC. So Pac-12 is, you know, deteriorating. And your reaction to Stanford, to the ACC, and like 2 California schools are then going to be in the ACC, like.
Yeah.
And then Colorado, I kind of wrote down, you know, they're obviously going back to the Big 12. There's some rivalries that are going to be reignited there. They played, I think this was football, so they played Kansas a total of 70 times. They played Ohio State a total of 65 times. And obviously Texas and Oklahoma are going to be there too. So the Big 12 is kind of shaping up to be like, man, that's going to be kind of a fun conference. And then I also wrote down Arizona going to the Big 12, more so for basketball implications. The Big 12, you're going to have Kansas, Baylor, Houston, Texas, Texas Tech, Arizona. Like the Big 12 in basketball is going to be legit. And Arizona is like they've been the 1 or the 2 seed, it feels like, for 10 years straight, and they just never get it done. And part of me wonders, is that because of their schedule? Is it because of the conference they were in? So now being in a tougher conference, even if they're not like a 1 or a 2, maybe they're a 3 or a 4 seed, but they're better off because they're facing tougher competition. So that's kind of my notes. And other than that, I mean, we all know money talks. All of this has to do with money. All of it. All of it.
Give us Big 12 after dark immediately. You need to fill the shoes, sign Bill Walton, give us Big 12 after dark.
You know, Gary, I'll let you jump in real quick.
As a rule of thumb, Gary does not care about college sports. I need everybody to know that just before we continue. However, I know the rich get richer when I see it. I know that all this is doing is bastardizing this game even further and bastardizing college sports even further. And it's at the expense of what? Yes, now you're going to see a more parity, more competition across the board. But I think, Jeff or Ben, I don't know which one you said, but like we're going to get to the point that there's going to be no conferences. It'll be a free-for-all. And the rich, the haves will continue to get richer. The have-nots will continue to tail off. And I promise, by the time my youngest goes off to college in 2035, there's going to be points where a lot of these colleges are going to start merging, at least on the athletic side. I have this weird feeling that we're just a step away from that. You saw, and you mentioned the PGA and Live. That is right.
I'm telling you, man.
There is pretty much the prototype for what we're going to see, and it's going to come through college sports next.
And let's also put this into perspective for like Stanford, right? Stanford is one of the richest schools in the country when it comes to annual endowment money. Because of the revenue that they generated from the Pac-12 network and from their other national networks, they never had to dip into that endowment fund because of the money that they made off of the TV deals. So now what you're going to have is that you're going to have these schools like UC Berkeley, which is actually one of the schools that actually has the largest amount of debt among some of the major universities. So some of these schools now are going to have to make some decisions whether to keep a football program or they're going to have to cut some other sports because of the lack of revenue that's coming in. Stanford, for instance, has one of the most national championships out of any major Division I team across all sports. Also, what's also going to probably happen is that there's a trickle-down effect. Stanford players, Olympic athletes come through those schools. Like these are farm systems for other athletes. So it's this change is a ripple effect into other sports and just across the board. So yes, college football is the main thing, but the impact I think is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. And I think that the regional thing is a very, very, very big deal. But go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to actually toss it to AK. Sounds like he wants to say something, or it looks like he wants to say something.
College football is going to be its own thing. It will end up being its own thing because there's no way they can, other than somebody coming in and investing a lot of money, they can afford to fly North Carolina over to California to play, to swim, in meets or whatever. Like I think they're so afraid of just letting it play on the field and losing control of who does what and who gets in and out of what tournament. every other single playoff setup is the same across the board. You win your division, you win your conference, you're in, except for this one. And I don't get it. I don't know why they make it so hard on themselves, and I'm sure it's because of money.
Yeah. Yeah, AK, and it's really interesting. I read a lot of articles in the Athletic. I'd recommend anyone get a subscription. The $6 a month. It's a great. They write great articles. Very impressed with them. One of the things that they said before I toss to you, Ben, and then we'll get to the NFL top 5 defenses, is that you get to a point of where you follow the money, then you as a president or an athletic director no longer have control over your own quote unquote destiny. Right. So you're following so much more of the money, which I get it. It's a capitalistic economy. That's your right. But understand that you will lose control over how you do scheduling, how you do budgeting, because you even have schools like Florida State now that is looking at opening up a line of credit to be able to fund whatever it is that they need to do because they're not getting the revenue. When was the last time you heard a major university taking out a line of credit like they're a bank? I mean, it's just kind of coming to a point now where it's like, I embrace change.
I called them the Florida State Employees Credit
That's all
Union.
I'm going to say.
Florida State Employees.
FSECU.
Exactly. Florida State. Bro, Florida State is taking out a line of credit like the Wells Fargo Bank. Bro, come on now. I'm just saying. But go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's almost like the schools and the commissioners and the ADs were like, man, all these athletes are getting paid now. This NIL, it's like it's a wild, wild west. So how do we take control? Oh, let's shift the conversation and let's start talking about how much more money we have and how much by more money, more power. So it's almost like there's a little bit of jealousy. The athletes are making some money now. They're getting talked about. We're going to show you who's king. And that's kind of a domino effect. That's kind of my other, take on
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
I just hope, the alignment stuff, we saw it happen after the Big East got dismantled, and the Big East was what had some of the best college basketball that we had seen in a lifetime, and we're no longer going to get that. But it is what it is. But Ben, take it away with top 5 NFL defenses. So I know you were just giddy with it.
Sure. So we're transition to the NFL. We got a bunch of top 5 lists. First on the board is top 5 defenses, and I wrote down some statistics, but not too much. I'll go. Do you want me to go 1 through 5? And then we'll kind of pass it around.
Yeah, just go. Yeah, go through 5 from 1. That's what we'll do. 5 from 1.
All right, 5. Okay, and I'll give a very brief reason for each. That won't be long. Number 5.
Yeah, you do that.
Patriots. Number 5 for me, Patriots. I wrote down the secondary got a lot stronger. They had the 3rd most sacks last year, and they have a superstar, Matt Judon, and they were number 3 in DVOA, defensive value over adjusted, the most analytical stat in football. So they were 3rd as a defense. Number 4, staying in the AFC East, the Jets. Wrote down they were number 3 in points per game allowed last year, and number 6 in sacks. Cowboys at 3. They've got the most takeaways since Dan Quinn took over as defensive coordinator, and Jerry Jones is definitely paying Dan Quinn on the side and giving him whatever he wants to stay as defensive coordinator. Like, that is 100%. Like, there's no way that Quinn couldn't have accepted a job. Jerry Jones is like, hey, buddy, what do you need? Like, you want a new car? What else do you want? Oh, we'll give you this too. So he's held on to Dan Quinn. That's a good thing for us. They were number 5 in points per game, and they're the 3rd most sacks in the league last year. Go to the top 2. I think you guys know the 2, and the order we could probably flip-flop. But Eagles at 2 and 49ers at 1. 49ers at 1 based on win and lose by points. And 49ers were number 1 points per game allowed, and they were number 1 in yards allowed. So you win and lose by points. And we'll get there in this little teaser. We'll get there to Joey Bosa or Micah Parsons. Either way you look at it, Bosa is one of the top 3 or the best, however you want to get there, defensive players. You got that, and you got their linebackers. Yeah, they're
Funga, baby.
Eagles. Yeah. And you got them Eagles, man, them sacks. The most sacks in the league last year by like 15. But anyways, there's my top 5. Why don't we go? AK, you're the guest. Why don't we go to AK next? Have at it.
Yeah. Gary, did you want to go, Gary? I can go. All right, here we go.
Go to AK. You're good.
Okay. Little controversial here. I'm putting the Jets at 5.
Oh, crap.
I'm putting the Jets at 5. They're in the top 5. I'm not buying the hype. There's too many darkness retreats happening on the sidelines of the games, all that stuff. There's going to be too many distractions, the hard knocks. What I'm concerned about, and I'm doing predictive. What do I think this is going to wind up as? The Jets have the 6th toughest schedule in the NFL.
Facts. Facts.
Okay,
Facts.
they're in a division with Buffalo and Miami, and I cannot remember who their out of conferences, what other division they're playing.
They're playing the NFC East.
Hey,
there you go. Points all over the place. So they look good. Salah's an awesome coach, former 49er guy, but I think they're going to be. They're being touted as one of the top, and I'm not saying they won't be top 10, but that's a tough schedule they got to play. Now, number 4, I had a tie in my power rankings between the Titans and the Panthers. Okay. Titans, 28th strength of schedule. They play in the AFC South with all rookie quarterbacks. And you're talking about Vrabel, who is a defensive guy, right? And the Panthers got some young talent. I like the Panthers in the NFC South, right? Because they, too, have a quarterback debacle in that division. So when you're telling me who's going to be a good defense, I'm looking at what's that quarterback going to do on the other side of the ball and how many of them you got to play. So I like those. Number 3, the Browns. People are going to look at me like I'm crazy. Isn't Jim Schwartz there now?
I think so.
On the defense. They just added Zadarius Smith. They've got Myles Garrett. They added some depth up front. They have the 26th ranked schedule. So I think the Browns now, and they play in the division with the Ravens are running this new offense. We don't know what's going to happen with that. Kenny Pickett, yes. Steelers, and then the Bengals, of course, score on everyone. But I think the Browns are going to defensively, they're going to benefit off of Stefanski controlling the clock and finally using Nick Chubb to his full potential. Second, I have the Cowboys. They have the 4th hardest strength of schedule, but that defense has been unreal the past few years. Number 1, no surprise here. It's the 49ers. No doubt about it. They bring in Steve Wilkes, known defensive back guy, right? Niners struggled the most in the defensive backfield. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they have one of the best fronts. They added Javon Hargraves. So Niners, number 1.
okay. Got it. But go ahead, Gary, and then we know. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so I'll go in reverse order. Number 5, I got the Patriots. I put little notes for each one. Basically, Bill Belichick knows defense. I think he's kind of shown that over the years. I think he's pretty good at it. You know, last season they had the 4th fewest yards per play at 5, 9th fewest offensive touchdowns per game at 2.1. And I think that personally Christian Gonzalez, who they just picked up as their defensive back, as their cornerback, is going to pay huge dividends for them. Even if offensively they will be as independent as they've normally been.
Hey, buddy.
Number 4.
Hey, buddy.
I'm not going to understand how your dog, but put him on camera so we can all see him.
Wait, what happened?
Put your dog on camera.
You weren't
so we
muted, buddy. You weren't muted.
Oh,
We
my
heard,
dog.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now we need to see him. Like,
Come on.
The official Death Texan sports mascot.
Let's go.
Oh, hold on. I'll bring the camera to him.
There you go.
Oh
we go.
yes, yes.
There we go.
Tail
There you
wags.
go, buddy.
Oh, look at
Tail
that
wags.
dog.
Boop.
You're famous now.
Boop for the good
You're
boy.
famous, son. You're famous.
Okay.
So that's number 5 for me. Number 4, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think
Woo.
when you consider that in their last 7 games, they allowed 7 quarterbacks had a 76.3 QBR, and they had 21 sacks. That's over the last 7 games. You're going to get back a healthy T.J. Watt, a Kaleo Witherspoon, Minka Fitzpatrick. You picked up Patrick Peterson. You drafted Joey Porter Jr., who, if he's anything like his dad, that man's going to be a dog. Like
Dog.
that team, they are now like the way the Detroit Lions are in the NFC. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in the AFC. They're the sexy pick to make the playoffs and make some noise. And you look at that defense, you can understand why.
And they've graded as like the best drafts the last 3 years. They're always in like the top 5.
And
like,
Tomlin. Come on, now.
And Tomlin.
Yeah. We talk about Bill Belichick. Let's talk about Mike Tomlin as well. He always figures it out.
The standard is a standard.
He is the standard at this point.
I'm saying.
As much as this pains me to say, I have the New York Jets at number 3. Here's why. I know their schedule is tough, but let's look at what Robert Saleh has done. 2021, they were 32nd last in the league in total DVOA, defensive adjusted value over average, and gave up nearly 30 points a game. This past season, they were 5th and gave up just 18.6, which is second fewest in the game. And a lot of that has to do with your Sauce Gardners, your Quentin Williams. I think another year and some seasoning, I think that defense will buoy that team certain games. I think they'll keep them in games that they don't have any right to be in. And who knows? I don't know what that'll manifest as far as long-term success, but I still think they are pretty good and they can get better. And Ben, like you, 2-1 Eagles, 49ers with the Eagles. I looked this up and I wanted to make a note. See, Ben, you like your stats here. Ready? They had 70 sacks last season. That is the 3rd most all time in NFL history, behind the 84 Bears and the 89 Vikings. That defense is special. And then you have 2 top 20 cornerbacks in Slay and Bradbury. They're going to pick up pretty much, as long as they stay healthy, they're going to pick up right where they left off last season.
And Gary, not to interrupt you, but their 70 was 15 more than the next person last year.
Only 4 times in the 100+ years of the NFL has a team gotten 70+ sacks. I named the 2 teams that played.
That's just ridiculous.
It's scary. Mind you, that it was the 84 Bears team that got the most sacks, not the 85. Not the vaunted 85 Bears defense. It was the year before it. So now that speaks volumes to them and the company that Philly found themselves in last season. I think they'll pick up again, like I said, like they did last year.
I can't
49ers and the 49ers, they averaged 77. They allowed just 77.7 rushing yards, 3.4 yards to carry. Give me a healthy Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead, and that team is going to be, as I've said before, they're going to be good in spite of their quarterback play. And that's not a knock against their quarterbacks. It's more so it doesn't matter who they have back there. They're just that good.
You better hop on the Purdy train.
Okay.
Now, I like Brock Purdy.
Right.
It's a good story, but again, it could be Brock Purdy, it could be Trey Lance, it could be whoever. I think that team is going to be good, period.
That ship is set with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
That ship is set with Trey Lance.
I'm just making a note here.
I think that ship is sailed.
Somebody talking trash about Purdy.
Yeah, he said.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, AK. I mean, come on. Do you really feel like that Trey Lance experiment is worth continuing or giving it another shot? Honestly, I just got to ask a fan.
They've been the last
think it's done.
The last 6 times they've made the playoffs, they've made the NFC Championship. It doesn't really matter who's back there, but this is a guy who threw 300 pass attempts, maybe I think all the way through college, since high school.
If we can be a tiny bit critical of your 49ers, they could have had Justin Fields.
They could have.
Yeah, that made no.
They could have. Yes,
Yeah.
they could have had that.
But
Could have had him.
But hindsight's 2020, right? I mean, that's the thing with sports, right? You could say should have drafted that player, but I mean, hey, things happen. I see the upside of him. He's kind of like Anthony Richardson, but not as the type of physical specimen. A lot of question marks, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, you guys gave all the stats. Mine's gonna be very quick. I'm gonna have the Jets at number 5. Then I'm gonna put Buffalo at 4. Then I'm gonna put the Denver Broncos at 3. And
That's
then
right.
at number 2, I'm gonna put Philly, and then I'm gonna put the 49ers at number 1. I just think San Francisco, they're gonna be there's just something about them. That's all I'm gonna say. And Buffalo, I mean, they have that player that is going to be back this year, and he is a dog at middle linebacker, and he's a top 5 all time at that position. We know who he is, and that is Von Miller. As Von Miller's playing, they always have a chance. That's all I'm going to say. Gary, how you like that? Does that put a smile on your face? Anyway, AK.
Jeff, why don't you lead the
What happened now? I missed something. What?
Oh, Tex chimed in. Tex chimed in.
Okay. All right. So let's go with the top 5 offenses. This one I was really, really, really excited about, but I'm just going to go very, very simple here. I'm going to say Miami's going to be number 5, just because I don't trust Mr. Concussion to be able to lead and stay healthy. Yeah, the wind will blow. He'll get a concussion. That's just how I feel.
Learn how to fall.
I'm going to put Cincinnati because. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Number 4, I'm going to go Cincinnati. I know that Joe Burrow with that shin injury is going to be tough, but, I mean, they're one of the more lethal offenses with Joe Mixon coming back. And then, I mean, you got a 3-headed monster with Boyd, Chase, and Higgins. So that'll be something. Higgins, there we go. Number 3, I'm going to go with Detroit. And I'm not just doing that because I'm throwing Marissa Bone there. I really think that they're going to be even more lethal this year. DeAndre Swift is gone. Jamal Williams led the league in touchdowns, I believe, with 17. But I think that David Montgomery and that guy Gibbs. I think Gibbs is going to be something special out of the backfield. I mean, the dude is a burner, and I just think that with his health, I mean, they put up points. They just can't stop anybody. That's just their thing. They'll score 52 points and give up 51. But yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna go Philly with number 3. And then I'm going to go Buffalo. I'm going to go Buffalo number 2. And then I'm going to go Kansas City. But Buffalo, I'm not confident with that just because their running game situation is very, very, very suspect to me. And I feel that Gabe Davis is kind of a one-hit wonder. Either he'll have 3 catches for 130 yards or he'll have 0. So they're going to have to be a little bit more versatile in the run game and not having your quarterback lead the team in rush attempts and rushing yards. That's not a formula to win, in my opinion. But, yeah, it's just me. And Kansas City, unfortunately, I have to acknowledge that team. But Pat Mahomes, they're just too good. Let's go. But Gary, we'll go to you since you got to leave soon. And then we'll let you go, and then we'll just keep this circle going.
Yeah, going to keep it simple. I got 49ers 5. Again, not for any real bad reason. I just feel like, the other 4 teams in front of them, just their offensive firepower kind of stands out more. With the Bills, number 4, I personally think that if they get a quality running back at some point this season, where I have them at 4, they could easily be 1 or 2. I think that they have enough firepower, but this has been the talk, and we've talked about it, in previous episodes. If not now, when? You're wasting Josh Allen. You're wasting, what you have there. Stephon Diggs, he's good, but how long is that going to last? You just said, what Jeff just said, Gabe Davis seems to be like real hitter, really, really high. And like I said, no running game. But again, you get a running back, you get a Dalvin Cook. I'm going to go ahead and say there'll probably be 1 or 2 on this list. 3, I'm going Bengals. They already had one of the more formidable offenses. You added Orlando Brown Jr. to that offensive line. that's going to be even more problematic for them. And not problematic for them, problematic for the others in the league. And then the three-headed monster that as their wide receivers is going to be real serious. 2, Eagles. See the various reasons Jeff just mentioned. 1, Chiefs, Pat Mahomes. That's about it. Wait, sorry, Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say this though. Like, eventually the chickens come home to roost for a team. You can only lose so much and expect to be able to sustain something. We know that their defense is an issue. The Chris Jones situation's a problem, but like losing Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Pacheco are gonna have to be key pivotal options in the passing game and the running game. And Kelsey, I mean, he's phenomenal, but I mean, Father Time's undefeated, and those hits do add up. That's all I'm going to say. But there was a question, and then I'll let.
I don't know if it's a serious question or not, but the answer would be no, because he would just call a pass play to him every time. So I'm going to say no. I don't know the backstory behind that. I think AK knows a little bit more, but the answer would be no.
So the text from our show, he asked that question with the Bill. One of the guys on our show is a huge Bills fan, and Tex has taken it upon himself to usurp all the Bills message boards and pull up all the back and forth between the Bills, and he's been keying in on Stephon Diggs. And the guy who's the Bills fan, but because Stephon Diggs has been unhappy, and the Bills have no running game. They brought on Latavius Murray, but they don't. Their running game
that's what they got now is Latavius Murray and Damian Harris.
Oh, I forgot about Damian Harris. They have Kincaid too. Now he's supposed to be the secret weapon.
That tight end,
that unlocks the offense. But at some point you have to be able to run the ball, and it can't be with your quarterback. So
if they got McCaffrey last year, they won the Super Bowl. They should have.
Niners.
They should have. Yes, I'm aware. The Bills decided not to be aggressive, and the Niners were. I'm saying if the Bills were aggressive and got McCaffrey, I think they would have won the Super Bowl last year. But we'll never know. But AK, I'm loving. We got to get to Micah versus Bosa, but we both got to list our offenses. Why don't you go first?
I'll go quick. So mine's a little different, right? Number 5. I'm definitely going with the Lions. 26 points per game, 26.6 points per game. I think that was top 5 or 6. 20th strength of schedule. Right, I'm like, who are these dudes playing? Right, and they play the NFC South. So I think, and Jared Goff, apparently, by all accounts, you could do with this what you want. He's having a great camp. He's in the best shape of his life. Well, tell me if you've heard that before. Best shape of his life, Jared Goff. I think St. Brown's going to be good. They've got another little weapon there. The tight end, Sam Laporta, apparently going to be pretty good. Jahmyr Gibbs. So David Montgomery, they got a lot of, and the NFC South or the NFC North. Who knows what that division is going to be? Number 4, I'm going with the Chargers. They keep adding absolute monsters on offense. That dude Quentin Johnson out of TCU is going to be a problem. Look at that receiving room, man. They got Mike Williams, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, and Josh Palmer, and then they got an absolute monster at tight end. I can't remember what that guy's name is, but anyways, he is huge. Then I'm going with.
But just real quick on Josh Palmer, real quick.
Yes.
Just real quick. They forget Josh Palmer still had 75 receptions last season, and he's the 3rd or 4th option. I'm just saying.
I know.
They're loaded.
If they can protect Herbert, I mean, it's going to be crazy. Then I'm going with the Niners because good luck stopping Shanahan, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell. Brock Purdy is going to be back there with 100+ QBR all season long. Probably not going to lose a game. Hasn't even lost a regular season game, so I don't know what the fuss is about. I mean, Tell me. Then I'm going with the Jags. The Jags get to play the AFC South. Another year with Peterson and Lawrence. Lawrence that dude is a freak show. You add Calvin Ridley to that. ETN, they get to play the NFC South as well. So 8, they get 14 games against the AFC South or whatever it is, AFC South and NFC South. Lawrence is going to be all over it. And then the Chiefs. Justin Ross, people are not talking about him enough. The receiver, I think, out of Clemson, adding another little weapon. That dude he's going to be good. Just watch out. So there you go.
All right. So I'll go quick. I'll save the stats because I really want Gary to be here for the Micah versus Bosa talk. 5 Cowboys, 4 Bills, 3 Bengals, Eagles 2, Chiefs 1.
I'm not putting the Bills in my top 5. I won't do it. Not until they get a running game. Run the ball.
Very simple. Very simple.
True.
I'm actually glad you're a 49ers fan, which I had no idea of, because it's going to make this next conversation pretty fun.
Oh, come on, baby.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's get to best defensive players here, shall we?
Let's do it. Gary, you want to lead us off?
The best defensive player, Joey Bosa, Micah Parsons, or someone else?
Go
for it.
I'm going to lean. Micah Parsons has more impact overall, but Joey Bosa is the game changer of the two. Joey Bosa is the
That's a good analogy. I love that.
No, he's a game changer. I think that as part of a total defense, Micah Parsons stands out in the same way that, let's go back to the 80s. Let's go back to Lawrence Taylor and that Giants team back then. Like, he was the captain. He was the face of that Giants defense and the one that was getting all the glory and the sacks, a la Micah Parsons. Joey Bosa gives me more Reggie White vibes in the sense of, like, he is the galvanizing leader and the impact maker on defense. And I think as such, that makes him the best defensive player in the league. But really, that separation between 1 and 2 is not as far and is not as deep as most people would think.
Jeff, you want to add it?
Okay. Respect it. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Jeff, since we're Cowboys Niners, save us for the last two.
I think these two are
so
like
you go.
1A and 1. Yeah, I'm saying I would say it's between 1A and 1B, like Joey Bosa or Micah Parsons. But I think just versatility, I think Joey Bosa is legit, but I'm gonna have to go with Micah Parsons.
Hey, aren't we messing up the Bosa?
I just think he can win matchups.
It's Nick, isn't it? Or am I messing up? It is Joey.
Nick Bosa's on the.
I didn't say Nick. I didn't say Nick. I just said Joey.
No, I'm messing up then. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. Micah Parsons. I mean, that's just what it is for me. I mean, he can do it all. I mean, just what that's simple. But all right, I'll leave it to you guys. Go ahead, take it away.
AK, you're the guest. I'll let you go first, sir. Our answers are probably not going to be the same, but
they're not.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. So make your case.
Well, Nick Bosa for the 49ers. 2022 Defensive Player of the Year. Led the NFL in sacks, 18.5 in 2020. 3-time Pro Bowler, 4 seasons. Consistently been on the top defense every single year. And when he's not on the field, the defense is not the same. He is a game changer. I will give Micah Parsons this. He is versatile. But Micah Parsons talks too much. He already said that they're the best team in the NFL. All they got to do is show up. I'm like, dude, you are not the best team in the NFL. You got beat by the 49ers. You haven't won a playoff game since, one playoff win in 30 years? Absolutely not. Nick Bosa is the leader of that defense. The defense goes as he goes. When he's not on the field, they are not as good, period.
All right. I like it. So Parsons, 2 years in the league thus far, number 2 in Defensive Player of the Year, first 2 years. That's impressive right there. As far as sacks, Bosa definitely had more last year. Interesting to know they both had 90 QB pressures, which, sacks versus pressures. So my argument, and I was called biased on Saturday night, but I said if the teams were switched, I would pick Parsons, and that's the honest truth. You don't know me much, but I criticize Dallas more than any Cowboys fan, and I don't side with Dallas just because they're Dallas. After that 40-3 ass whooping, when 99% of the Cowboys fans were like, Super Bowl, I'm like, you guys are crazy. It's one game. It's one game. But my it's Parsons for me because of kind of what we've kind of already alluded to as versatility goes. He's, as far as rushing the quarterback, I honestly can't make an argument he's better than Bosa. I just can't. I'd be crazy if I made that argument. But there isn't a big gap between the two as far as rushing the passer. I would say Bosa's better. And I don't have stats or numbers on this, but I do watch probably 95% of Cowboys games. I can't remember one time when Parsons was covering a receiver or a running back or a tight end that the dude caught the ball on him. That's not stats, but when he covers, nobody catches it on him. And I think he could be, if they told him you're playing safety full time, they wouldn't be utilizing his entire skill set, but I think he'd be one of the top 5 safeties in the league. I just think he's top 5 at every level. So the versatility and the fact that, to me, I think he's great at everything, that puts it over the top for Parsons. But like we've all said, it's a slim margin. You give me either one, I'll be very happy.
Okay. All right. There we go. Let's do a pivot here real quick because, Gary, I know you got to go. We always look forward to your gripes. What is your gripe, sir?
I'm going to go in order real quick with what's left on the show. Top 5 wide receivers. I'm just going to do this real quick. I have Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs. One team that finished in last place in the division last year with the best chance to make playoffs this year. I'm going to say none of them. But if I was forced to pick one of them, I guess Washington, but that's not really confident because they have no quarterback whatsoever. And now my gripe. This is about the Orioles broadcast. Like, I have a problem right now. You guys are 70 You guys are 70-42. You guys should be the feel-good story in Major League Baseball this season because nobody expected this from you. Yet instead of talking about this 70-42 record, we got to talk about how you decided to remove Kevin Brown from your broadcast because he told the truth about how y'all can't beat the Rays. My argument is this. Michael Kay, I listen to the Michael Kay show daily since I'm here in New York. He is as ardent of a Yankee criticizer as anybody that I know personally or professionally. But they would never get rid of him for saying what we all know. Yankees can't get past the Astros. He could go on and talk about it. He goes on his radio show for hours and talks about this. He actively talks about it during broadcasts. But we're not talking about him being removed quietly. But yet the Orioles can't take a little heat from the fact that they've been the Rays' bitch for the last decade. Like, come on. What I said before, Baltimore savor the flavor because this isn't going to last long. It's shit like this is why it's not going to last long. Enjoy it, but enjoy your wild card loss because you've done played yourselves already. Good night, everybody.
I love it.
I mean, it'd be facts, though. I mean, like, honestly, like, they call it bad juju, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like sometimes you have bad juju, and the Orioles had it. My hometown team, I was rooting for them. Like, people should be talking about them making the playoffs and making a potential run, but now it's tainted because of that dumb move. They got bad juju now.
Like I said, they should be this great story that everybody's talking about. They they're overachieving at an early rate. They're like the 17 Yankees. Like, they arrived earlier than most people expected. We should be talking about that, but yet we're talking about this nonsense.
Yeah, they were like the worst team in baseball like 4 years ago.
Yep.
Like the worst.
And look at them now. They built a good farm system. They're going to start being able to get people in free agency. Like that, this Orioles team should be up here making the AL East exactly what it is, which is a dogfight, and that's what they should be doing.
Yeah, you don't want to be labeled as an organization or as an athlete as sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
you remove a guy telling the truth.
Baseball is a sport. Baseball is a sport. You cannot mess up the juju. Of all the sports,
Thank you.
it is one. It is the one where once a team gets a hook and they got the whammy wagon or the hammer hose or whatever the heck else they're doing in the dugout, the rally monkey, the towels, the cup, rally hats, the shoe on the head, and then you go and throw a wrench in that. It's done, dude. Done.
Yeah.
Just want to say for the record,
done.
My Yankees don't do none of that nonsense. We just win.
Oh,
except for this year.
Hey, they put a patch on their
this year
jersey
is
over
a
their
complete
stripes.
failure.
They
I
cover
know.
the stripes up.
Yeah, that's their bad juju.
No, take it off.
We can't get names on the back of the jersey, but the insurance company, sure, no problem.
Just put stripes on the patch so it at least looks the same.
Something.
All right, Gary. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Well, good one because the Orioles definitely had me feeling the type of way, man.
See you all
Everyone
next week. Have a good night.
all right,
See you,
All right,
man.
Gary.
take care. All right.
We'll step back to our top five
All right,
receivers.
so we got top five receivers. I'm gonna keep mine very simple. I'm gonna count Travis Kelce as a wide receiver because even though he's a tight end, I'm just gonna say he's a wide receiver. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, it does. He has he's a receiver. I'm gonna have him at number 5. I'd rather have him than Stephon Diggs. If you had, who would you rather have? Him or Stephon
Kelsey,
Diggs?
hands down. Oh, Kelsey all day.
Right, and Stephon Diggs is and you can consider. Okay, what about Travis?
Honestly,
Kelce?
I would probably have. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying. Okay, I was gonna ask one more. CeeDee Lamb or Travis Kelce?
Ooh, put him in the blender.
Talking about right now or the next 5 years.
Oh,
If you had no, just for right now, this season.
you're drafted.
This season.
You're pick number 3 on the draft. Fantasy
Kelsey.
football.
Kelsey.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So
I mean, I
I'm
would
just gonna
put
say I'm gonna
as
have-
far as overall pass catchers, I would have Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey at 3. There's only 2 I would rather above Kelsey.
yeah, I mean, Travis Kelce still had over 1,300 yards receiving, and he was 7th. He was 7th. No, he was 8th in the league in total yards as a receiver last season. But anyway, I'm just going to count him as 5, and I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb, number 4. Then I'm going to go Stephon Diggs, and then I'm going to go Devontae Adams, Hill, and Jefferson. I had A.J. Brown just this season. I haven't just had a little bit tad down because I think he's going to have to be reliant on more big plays and not necessarily in the slot in the numbers where I feel as all the other receivers, the type of offenses that they have, not because of skill and opportunity, but they're more versatile and can win in a lot of ways. I feel like A.J. Brown's very big, deep play, Stephon Diggs as well, but still phenomenal receivers. Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Number 5 is Chris Olave. Again, I'm looking to the future.
Oh, okay.
I like Chris Olave, one of the most efficient receivers in the NFL. He was 7th among all wide receivers. He's getting Derek Carr, who likes to target one particular receiver, correct? So I like Chris Olave to have a huge year, right? Next, DK Metcalf. I'm talking this dude, when everybody tried to write Geno Smith off, he didn't write back. And DK Metcalf, even though he had some down numbers, still put up huge numbers. That dude is virtually unguardable if the ball is in his wingspan. Number 3, Cooper Kupp. Dude just catches touchdowns and gets open. That's all that dude does. Cooper Kupp he is fun to watch. Number 2, Jamar Chase. He's probably one of the top 2, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. You don't really need to go into detail about those dudes, other than they're 2 of the most fun players to watch play football, especially at the receiver position. I like Chris Olave, and I think DK Metcalf is a freak show.
Chris Olave
besides his diet.
He's something. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I wanted to put him in there, but he's top 10 though. Those guys are gonna have big years. Chris Olave is gonna be.
I'm telling you, man.
He's gonna be something. Good one, Ben.
I got 5, Devontae Adams, 4, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill 2, Justin Jefferson 1. Tyreek at 2 is because he had 1,700 yards with Tua playing 11 games, 12 games, and then have fun naming the other Miami quarterbacks. He was
Skylar Thompson, baby.
Skylar Thompson, Bridgewater, and there was somebody else too. And he had 1,700 receiving yards. So I can't knock him out of the top 2. So I got him and then JJ at 1.
Okay. All right. With it. All right. Let's get to the last segment here, folks. Ben, one team that finished in last place in the division last year and the best chance of making the playoffs this year.
So, AK, you may not know this, but I am the only DTS member that has the Jets missing the playoffs. So they can't be the answer to this question. So I actually looked at schedule and the fact that there's probably has to be some regression to the mean. And Jeff, you're going to be happy with this answer. I got the Broncos as the best the best chance to make the playoffs,
baby.
and I went schedule wise. Okay, so I just wrote down their home games that are not division games. Actually, the Raiders are division, so I wrote that down by accident. So Washington, the Jets, Green Bay, Vikings, Browns, Patriots. That's home games. And then, of course, they get the Raiders twice, which I don't believe in the Raiders because Jimmy Garoppolo is clearly not going to be healthy because he never is. So I think the Broncos schedule-wise, and I looked at the their first 8 games, I wrote down that they could be 6-2 or 5-3. I'll read them quick. We got Vegas at home, Washington at home. You should be 2-0. At Miami, that's a tough game. At Chicago, tough game, but I think Denver should win that game. Home against the Jets. I already say I believe in the Broncos more than the Jets. So that puts them at 4-1. Got the Chiefs twice. I think this is the year that they win at least one game against Kansas City. Because Jeff, what is it, 18 in a row? I think. So either way, win one of the Kansas City games, and then you got Green Bay at home. That's their first 8 games. So I could see 6-2 or 5-3, and then you're in a good position. So, and the last thing is they had the worst offense in the league by a million statistics, and their defense was still number 10 in points per game for the year. And for about all the way till December, they were top 5 in points per game as a defense. So if you can get regression to the mean where their offense can be anywhere between 15 to 20, and the defense can be top 5, like you're gonna win some games. So Broncos are my answer for that.
Okay, I like it. I'm just AK. We've been down for so long. I'm not going to get excited. I just want to see it all happen on the field. And now they're going to have their 3rd baby now. I guess Sierra's now is pregnant now. Congratulations to you two if you're watching the show. But I don't know. I'm just like, damn, couldn't you wait until after the season? But it is what it is. But I like the optimism. I like the optimistic approach, Ben. But hey, you go.
If he can stop giving motivational speeches in the huddle, they have a chance. But I think Sean Payton's going to clean that thing up. I mean, they're getting Javonte Williams back. He's coming off an ACL, but I don't know. We'll see. But I like that pick. Those are good numbers. Okay. Most people are going to say the Jets. No. Nope. Not going to happen. Aaron Rodgers is going to quit on that team, and then it's going to be an absolute disaster and hilarious to watch. Most people might pick the Bears because the NFC North is wide open and the Lions haven't been favored to win that division for who knows how long, 20, 30 years, whatever it's been. No. Nay. It's the Atlanta Falcons. They have the easiest schedule, and nobody, and I mean nobody, the millions and millions of people that watch the NFL have no idea what's going to happen in the NFC South. And that thing may as well have just been a toss-up Royal Rumble match last year, and it's going to be the same this year. So if you're putting my money on who was last is going to finish first, I mean, who did anybody in that division even get over 500?
No.
Last year?
Tampa, I think, won at 8-9.
Okay.
And I'd be surprised if anyone's 8-9 this year.
Brady's gone. Now, I do like Bryce Young. Or no, it was Bryce Young.
Bryce Young to Carolina, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I like Bryce Young. Carr to New Orleans is interesting, but Kamara's in trouble. They just signed Kareem Hunt. Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield doesn't know who he's throwing it to in practice. So I'm sitting here looking at that division.
Can we just point out, I'm sorry, did they really sign Kareem Hunt?
Yes.
Because I would love to point out the irony here. We got one running back in trouble. You know what? Let's get another running back because we got one running back who's being arrested right now. Let's bring one that let's have another one. Let's might as well call up. I don't know who else, but I don't know. I couldn't let that slide.
Give me hot. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Give me hot Atlanta, baby. Desmond Ridder, Kyle Pitts season, Drake London, Algier, Bijan. Come on now. The Falcons are going to, just because that division's, who knows what's going to happen.
I like it because you're playing like the odds. The odds are somebody has to win that division. Eric Ray Rice. Yeah, that's the further name that I was looking for. Well done there. Well done. I like the Atlanta pick there. Just playing the odds. Somebody has to win that division. But man, I don't know. That to me, it's putting a little bit too much faith in Desmond Ridder.
True, but
But here's the thing, though. No, just real quick. I'm with you, in Atlanta. I'm with you. They had the third most rush attempts last season. I think that Ridder is a little bit more of an upgrade over Marcus Mariota at this point. And if they can just have a player like Bijan Robinson and then Algier, who still had 1,000 yards last season,
and Cordero,
you're forgetting about him, right? And by the way, we still have Kyle Pitts, who's only 22 years old. Yes, he's coming off of an injury, but this team has enough weapons on the offensive side, and they made some key additions to that defense. I think this could be a good top 15 fringe, top 10 defense. They can do enough to win 9 games to win the division. Ridder doesn't have to be above average. He just has to be average, run the ball, make a couple stops. They could do it. Now will they? I don't know.
They still have Cordero Patterson, too, who's a weapon. Good luck. Yes. They're going to throw them all over the field. Drake London, Cordero Patterson, Bijan, Kyle Pitts. Yes.
The one wild card that I would say for that division is we haven't seen it in so long, so I'm not going to sit here and predict it, but Michael Thomas, if he plays, if he plays,
I'm so done with Michael Thomas.
I'm not saying to draft him in fantasy. I'm not saying I trust him. I'm saying there's a chance that he actually plays this year more often than the last 2 or 3 years. And if you have Thomas and Olave and Kamara's only missing 3 games, you get Thomas, Olave, Kamara, and now Hunt, and you have a top 12-ish quarterback. They would win the division if they
got another guy.
They get full seasons out of Olave and Thomas, or close to full seasons. I think in New Orleans.
They picked.
Oh,
up
you're talking about the
back.
running back. They got the guy who led
Kid-
the league in touchdowns, Jamal Williams.
Yeah,
They have him. So I mean, look at that three-headed monster in the backfield.
and they got
when
another
Kamara
young
comes
one.
back. Hunt, you got Hunt, Jamal Williams, and Kamara. That's some talent in the backfield. So
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you right now, the Falcons. Everybody's going to be betting on the Bears and the Jets because if you're looking to make money, I don't know what the Falcons' odds are, but that's what I would
AK,
bet on.
I'm right there with you with the Jets failing. I can't wait. It's going to be
Oh,
hilarious.
I
I
can't stand
cannot
Rodgers.
wait.
Get
I can't
Rodgers
wait.
out of my. Get Rodgers on his side with his chin strap in his face, looking at the camera to inject that meme into my veins immediately. Looking like a complete
You remember that
buffoon
photo?
laying down on the ground.
You remember that photo when he played for Green Bay and he was like,
That's the one I'm talking
yeah,
about.
that's what he's talking
"Yeah,
about.
Yes.
yeah, as we talk about
Give
yeah,
that-
okay.
I would get a tattoo of that if I could.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Just
That's
get
a
it
good
on your
one.
ass
That's a
cheeks.
good one.
Just get it on
Yes.
your ass cheeks. No one will see it.
But speaking of the Bears, though, I'm just gonna. I mean, because I was gonna go with Atlanta, but because you mentioned the Bears, there's a lot of hype around the Bears. I'm gonna go with them to potentially do it, but like Justin Fields, I'm very, very, very bullish on Justin Fields, but also at the same time, there's no excuse as to why he doesn't improve his passing numbers this season. There's no excuse,
DJ
There's-
Moore's a baller,
Okay.
baby.
right?
DJ
Claypool
Moore put
is
up
as
those
good as they.
statistics with some crappy quarterbacks in
That's
Carolina.
what I'm saying. Exactly. Like I think David Montgomery was a little bit of a loss, but that offensive line is a little bit better. He should be able to use his athletic ability to be able to create more plays downfield. DJ Moore is a legit number one. Claypool and Mooney. That's as good as a three wide receiver
Yeah,
set as
so-
you're going to get in the NFL.
I'm sorry, real quick. Between Dallas and between Dallas with Gallup going back to a number 3 role and Claypool being a number 3 wide receiver, they both proved last year they can't be 2s, they can't be 1s. But the fact that Dallas got Cooks moves Gallup back into the number 3 role is a lot better than him in the 2.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about Claypool. Claypool as a wide receiver 3 can get you 60, 65 catches. Couldn't do it as a 2. Just can't.
Exactly. Claypool, I'm very big on. But anyway, this was a good episode. Mr. AK, as we like to bring guests on, thank you for coming on. Did you just kind of want to give a shout out to what you're doing in the Twitter sphere and all your work and all that, where people can catch you?
Hello?
AK, you there?
Yeah, I got
there?
you. I don't know. Everything just went
Okay.
spinning there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
don't
didn't
know.
see. Yeah. All right, we're good. AK, shout out your stuff. Go for it.
Somebody hit the lag switch on me. I just wanted to say Dak Prescott still has to throw all those receivers the ball. Yeah, we're the Millie.
Yeah.
I like Dak. I really do. But don't say you're going to throw 10 interceptions. He's not going to throw. You got to say I'm going to throw less than or more than. You can't just leave it at 10 because it means you're going to be out of control. Anyways, we're the Millie Goats. Thank you for having me on. I'm AK from the Millie Goats. We have a podcast that releases on Mondays and Thursdays, live shows Sundays, Wednesday nights, 9:30. We talk DraftKings. We talk sports. We're trying to win the Millie. We haven't yet, as you can see right here. 52 episodes since we've won the Millie. We haven't won it. That's just when we started the show. So, but anyways, appreciate you guys having me on, man. This was a lot of fun. Football's back, baby.
No doubt. Yes, for sure. We're definitely going to have to bring you back on. I'm actually the first preseason game in Seattle on Thursday. That'll be exciting. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of hype behind Seattle this year, but we shall see. But sir, we'll definitely have to bring you back on, Ben.
Yes.
Good to see you again as always. Yeah, it's been good. Well, folks, that's all. Thanks for joining. We're August 22nd, y'all. We're fast approaching to episode 100, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be back next week, I believe. And until then, y'all take care now. Bye.